Hi, I'm Linda, and this is No Frills ASMR. I have this book, and it is called The New Poetry. You can see it's kind of an older book, and I think it's kind of interesting to look at because it's the New Poetry Anthology. So these are all the new poems, and it says New York, the Macmillan Company, 1919. But the original publication date is 1917. So I'm not sure they updated it from 1917. I'll show you what I find really interesting. I love this book because I don't know if you can see it has the rough edge on the pages. So, table of contents. And it has the name of the poet and then their poems. I am not super familiar with all the dead poets of the world. Let me think. 1919. Yeah, they're probably all dead. But I do find it interesting because, for example, there was one I saw in here that I was going to show you, but I'm just taking a look. Well, HD. I don't know if you are familiar. HD is Hilda Doolittle. Excuse me. And she was kind of a avant-garde imagist poet who became very well regarded. She went by HD because men were just taken more seriously in literature circles, I think. Although I do notice a lot of women in here. I think one of the things women could do was write poetry. That's something that they would accept, but an author, maybe not. And she did a lot more than just write poetry. She wrote plays and fiction. But I think one of the things she's known for is translating like mythological stories, but with a female kind of interpretation to it, I think. If that's... Let's see, who else is in here who was the new poet? So T.S. Eliot. A lot of you might know T.S. Eliot. Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm right about... Now I'm having a moment. Yeah. He wrote all the poems that they used to make the songs for the musical Cats. Those were based on the T.S. Eliot poems. Am I right about that? Now I'm wishing I looked it up. Pretty sure that's right. But in here he has the poem Portrait of a Lady, 1 through 3. So he was a new poet. And look, Robert Frost, that's who I saw. And I was like, oh, I have to show them. And he has The Mending Wall, which we'll read because I love that poem, I think. After apple picking, my November guest, mowing, storm fear, going for water, the code heroics. So that'll be very interesting, I believe. Let me just stop here for 1 second. I want to talk to you about this idea I have in the back of my head, really since I started the channel, that we could have like a, Dead Poets Society club. I don't know. I haven't thought of it. But anytime I post that I'm going to read a poem, maybe from this book, when I've posted, what made me think of it? When I posted reading of poetry in the past, it got very few views. So I know that people will start and they'll drop off immediately. So whoever's left right now, what I'm thinking is, in the comments, we could do like a, I don't know yet, but you know how people do like AMA, like Ask Me Anything? I don't intend to answer anything though. I'll answer what I want. But we could do like ask me anything, or it, like if you have a question not about me, but about, I don't know, the world, the situation. No, not politics. I don't want to get into that. But like, I don't know. But then what I could do is next time I take this book out, or even just commentary on things that you want to share. I don't know. I don't know what. I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't really thought this through, obviously. But I thought then next time I pull this book out, we'll kind of go through a little bit, and then I'll take out and read some of the questions or whatever, and we can just discuss stuff. Would that be fun? I don't know. But it'll look like poetry, so we'll get rid of all the riffraff. People who aren't here for the right reasons. So that might be fun. But within it, we'll read a couple poems. All right, who else? Oh, Thomas Hardy. Yeah, somebody said I should do relationship advice. If you need relationship advice from an old mom. No, I couldn't do that either. I don't know. Maybe. Depends. Oh, D.H. Lawrence. A woman and her dead husband. Fireflies in the corn. Green grief. Service of all the dead. My goodness. Amy Lowell. Patterns. I remember reading that in college. Who else is in here? I mean, these are all the new... Edna St. Vincent Millay. You guys know I love her. In fact, I think it was her book of poetry that I read that got very few views. And that's when I thought I should do something sneaky in a poetry. A little sneaky. Harriet Monroe. I don't know that name. Who else? Ezra Pound. Yeah, I remember reading Ezra Pound. I don't know what class I had in college where we read Pound and William Carlos Williams and who was that woman I just said? Amy Lowe. I can't remember what it was. They have a lot of Pound. Carl Sandburg. Oh, yeah. Carl Sandburg. I feel like he wrote the Footsteps in the Sand or something. Am I wrong about that? I don't know. Who else is in here? William Carlos Williams. I love William Carlos Williams. So yeah, so those were all the brand new poets of 1917. Isn't that wild? Let's see how long the Mending Wall is. Page 110. If you're not familiar, it's a good poem, I believe. Oh, you can see not only has somebody else opened it, they've put notes on here, and this was my grandma's book at one time. Although this name is not hers. I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. But also, I've read it a few times. This is a good one, too, I think. All right, it says, somebody wrote iambic pentameter and wrote sincere. What else did they write here? I can't quite read that. It says something phrasing, strictly organist. I don't know. I can't read what it says. Robert Frost, The Mending Wall. Do I need this? Maybe. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that sends the frozen groundswell under it and spills the upper boulders in the sun and makes gaps even to compass a breast. The work of hunters is another thing. I have come after them and made repair where they have left not one stone on stone, but they would have the rabbit out of hiding to please the yelping dogs. The gaps, I mean, no one has seen them made or heard them made, but at spring mending time we find them there. I let my neighbor know beyond the hill, and on a day we meet to walk the line and set the wall between us once again. We keep the wall between us as we go, to each the boulders that have fallen to each, and some are loaves and some are nearly balls. We have to use a spell to make them balance. Stay where you are until our backs are turned. We wear our fingers rough with handling them. Oh, just another kind of outdoor game. One on a side. It comes to little more. There where it is, we do not need the wall. He is all pine, and I am apple orchard. My apple trees will never get across and eat the cones under his pines. I'm sorry, let me reread that line. My apple trees will never get across and eat the cones under his pines, I tell him. He only says, good fences make good neighbors, which is a famous line. Spring is the mischief in me, and I wonder if I could put a notion in his head. Why do they make good neighbors? Isn't it where there are cows? But there are no cows. Before I built a wall, I'd ask to know what I was walling in or walling out, and to whom I was to give offense. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that wants it down, I could say, elves to him. But it's not elves exactly, and I'd rather he said it for himself. I see them there, bringing a stone grasped firmly by the top in each hand, like an old stone savage armed. He moves in darkness, as it seems to me, not of woods only, and the shade of trees. He will not go behind his father's saying, and he likes having thought of it so well. He says again, good fences make good neighbors. So that is the poem, The Mending Wall by Robert Frost. I wonder if it's in my cultural literacy book. I don't know. I feel like it will be. Or at least the line, fences make good neighbors, might be. Mending wall. Look at that. 51 and 121. Okay, let's see. 51. 51. Mending wall. It's probably your good fences make good neighbors. Good neighbors respect one another's property. Good farmers, for example, maintain their fences in order to keep their livestock from wandering into neighboring farms. The proverb appears in the poem Mending Wall by Robert Frost. Okay, and the other one was page 120. I wonder what that is. Oh, must be Robert Frost on here. Let's see. Wasn't it 120? Was that not the page it was on? Mending, where did you go? 121. I've Scott Fitzgerald. For whom the bell tolls. Frankenstein. There's Frankenstein. Frost, Robert, I guess this. An American poet of the 20th century. Some of his best known poems are The Road Not Taken, Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening, which contains the line, and miles to go before I sleep. I say that a lot on road trips. Mending Wall, the source of the line, good fences make good neighbors, and the gift outright, which begins with the line, the land was ours before we were the land's. So there's a little bit about Frost. Here's T.S. Eliot. Let's just look real quick and see if I'm crazy or not about the cat situation. T.S. Eliot, an English author of the 20th century, born and raised in the United States. Eliot wrote poems, plays, and essays, and urged the use of ordinary language in poetry. He was much concerned with the general emptiness of modern life and with the revitalization of religion. Among Eliot's best-known works are the poems The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock and The Waste Land, and the play Murder in the Cathedral. Maybe I'm wrong about cats. It's possible. I've been wrong before. All right, well, we'll look at this again sometime soon. There's Amy Lowell. This book was in my office, and I can't think of what we looked up in here. Maybe, I don't know. But we'll read another poem another time. I was looking real quick for William Carlos Williams. Here he is. What do they have of his here? Oh, these are like, must be very early of his because they're much longer. Let's just see what this one is. The Shadow. Soft as the bed in the earth where a stone has lain. So soft, so smooth and so cool. Spring closes me in with her arms and her hands. Rich as the smell of new earth on stone that has lain breathing, the damp through its pores. Spring closes me in with her blossomy hair, brings dark to my eyes. Oh, I don't know what that's about. Subterra, slow movement. It's like sometimes you have to know the meaning of a poem to be able to read it properly. Trying to read it cold is hard sometimes. Anyway, yeah, so feel free if you, I don't know, if you have any ideas in the comments, I'll try to read them maybe next time. I pull the book out. What is this? Carl Sandburg. Kin. Brother, I am fire surging under the ocean floor. I shall never meet you, brother, not for years anyhow. Maybe thousands of years, brother. Then I will warm you, hold you close, wrap you in circles, use you and change you. Maybe thousands of years, brother. Oh, oh my. So was it HD? Nope. There was one that was about mourning or something like that. I feel like, what's it? What's it? Grief. D.H. Lawrence, page 158. What is that? Grief. This is called Grief by D.H. Lawrence. The darkness steals the forms of all the queens, but oh, the palms of her two black hands are red. It is death I fear so much. It is not the dead, not this gray book, but the red and bloody scenes. The lamps are white like snowdrops in the grass. The town is like a churchyard, all so still and gray. Now night is here, nor will another torn red sunset come to pass. And so I sit and turn the book of gray, feeling the shadows like a blind man reading, all fearful lest I find some next word bleeding. Nay, take my painted missal book away. What? I kind of this green. The dawn was apple green. The sky was green wine held up to the sun. The moon was a golden petal between. She opened her eyes, and green they shone, clear like flowers undone. For the first time, now for the first time seen. It sounds like a Coldplay song. Like yellow. Ooh, motherhood. Wonder what that's all about. Service of all the dead. Oh. Oh boy. Well. Alright. I'll talk to you guys. I just wonder